TD SYNNEX Inspire. Great event this week. Greenville, South Carolina, headquarters of TD SYNNEX. They were gracious enough to have me. There was 4 podcasters there, maybe 3. It was a great time. Attention to detail. The team that ran it, absolutely spectacular. The team that brought me there was gracious. They were accommodating. Nothing fell through the cracks. I mean, guest setup. I mean, everything. It was a flawless event. And when I talked to the attendees, it was the best one ever. The big vendor pavilion, lots of great vendors there. It's just a really, the energy was so up. There was a DJ. I'm so glad podcasters were there. We're seeing more and more podcasters at every event now. If you go to an event and there's not a podcast, there's not at least one podcaster, there should be multiple. You should reach out and let them know. But it was a great event. Did 6 great conversations. And I really, enjoyed every single one, all really completely different. Francisco Criado was incredible. He was in distribution, left, and came back. Really great insight. Discipline, distribution, and the future of AI. TD SYNNEX has some great press releases that were announced. One is called AI Pioneers. Great program. We talked about it. So did Jessica, was the next guest as well. Their tech report was just launched that they put in so much time and energy. Next guest, Jessica McDowell, was an absolute delight. She was really straightforward. We opened up with her daughter just won a pageant and how that what's around that and how that works, but just absolute delight. Smart as nailed. My goodness. Really smart, really driven, really great conversation with Jennifer. I was able to talk to her a little bit afterwards as the days went on, but just really engaging. And of course, Gary Pattenbaum from New York, of course. We call the title. By the way, Jessica's title was on partner growth and AI cybersecurity. Gary from Brooklyn to boardroom. Gary Pattenbaum on partner success and growth. But Gary was an absolute delight. We had a lot in common. We're both from the Northeast. He went down south and how he got involved. He's been in distribution for 30 years, but just a great conversation with Gary. Very, very direct, knows distribution very well, wants to expand. We talked about MSPs and partnerships with partners. Great conversation with Gary. Then Terry McGill came, who is an MSP and a VAR there in Texas, in the Dallas area, DFW. I was able to meet him. I love talking with MSPs. How did they start? Where are they? Great conversation with Terry from Mesquite to Managed Services. Mitch. Oh yes, Mitch McCauley was great too, from Lenovo. Fascinating background. Mitch grew up in Eastern Europe a little bit, and then had his formative years in Western Africa, then came to United Kingdom, then came to the States. Interesting and very fascinating discussion with Mitch. Bridging cultures, building partnerships, lessons from Mitch McCauley. Great conversation with Mitch. And then it rounded out with Rob Purcell. Great conversation with Rob. Every day, 22 veterans commit suicide. Rob came up to me at the podcasting booth and said, "Look, Joe, there's something I want people to know. You have to understand this. He's got a not-for-profit, 22 Vets it's called, there in the Chicago area, and he also has a technology company as well. And one helps the other. 22 Vets Technology." Great conversation with Rob. He's a vet himself. What the plight is there, how we can help more, but just wonderful conversations. 6 of them there in Greenville, South Carolina. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. I found myself at 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. I took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People ask me, how'd you do it? What's the secret? I need to lose weight. How'd you do it? How'd I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision, growth through learning from others. You're in Dallas, Fort Worth.
I am.
Yeah. And so, but you're from Canada originally.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you heard the term fistful away?
No.
Fistful away from the mic. Okay. Gotta get closer.
Okay. No, I've not heard that.
Yeah. Were you barbecuing up in Canada?
No, I learned that. So born and raised until I was about 30 around the Toronto area.
In Toronto,
yeah. Worked for Hewlett-Packard. That's kind of where I started my technical career. And then HP moved me down to Dallas on a visa, then a green card, then married, then and yeah. So now wife and 2 kiddos in Frisco, Plano. That's my home now. So
nice area.
So no, didn't barbecue there really. Everything was a gas grill, propane. But my wife's family are charcoal, Mesquite. They kind of taught me the gig, and shoot, now I'm 25 years in, and my daughter says I do it more than I don't. Well, probably 5 or 6 times a week. I got.
Do you really?
Just something. I'm not I don't have the art side of cooking. I just had I got meat.
I say. So what should we know about that? Like that type of mesquite wood and everything? I don't barbecue like that at all.
Boy, what to know? Well, I make jokes with my buddies that it's how many beers. What's that cook? Well, that's about a 6-beer cook. That one, no, that's a quick cook. That's only 2 or 3. We make jokes about that.
I say.
But yeah, no, just low and slow. That's what they say, right?
So it's not smoking.
Well, I have this old school. There's a pellets and there's all kinds of.
Right.
I just have an old metal box that's kind of built in, and it has the ability where you can put the charcoal, and it has a leveler, so you can put it way down at the bottom. Put some mesquite in there with some charcoal, and then you can cover it with a metal plate, and it truly smokes.
Whoa, I say.
So, but you can also bring it up and raise a bunch of heat and steaks. That's a fairly regular event as well.
But can I don't want to say a poor quality, but not the highest quality of meat still taste good if it's smoked properly?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I think so.
It hides a lot of that kind of.
Like, shoot, you can, I'll get a $7, roast beef
really?
steak that you would never, a roast, you'd never want to cook it. But boy, you put on there for 6, 7, 8 hours, and it kind of turns into, pulled beef.
Wow.
So yeah, there's lots of ways.
And when you put it 6 hours, are you turning it ever?
Not usually.
Just let it sit.
Yeah.
Are you wrapping it in anything?
Yeah. So that type of meat you would.
Right. Because it's going to fall apart.
Sure, and it only takes on so much smoke.
I say.
So it'll get the smoke ring, and then you cover it up with. You might put some moisture in there, right? Depending on what the meat is.
Just water.
Beer.
Beer, know. Sure.
Sometimes people put some barbecue sauce.
Right.
Some spicy. I've tried it all.
Wow.
Trial and error for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then when you wrap it like ribs, right? Then that's where the tenderness comes.
Right.
So certainly with the cheap meat, you gotta break that down.
I say.
Yeah.
Because usually it's gonna be tough.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and around Texas, I don't know if you're brisket, right?
I love brisket. Yeah.
Shoot, some of those are 12, 14-hour cooks.
Wow.
I don't have the patience.
Right.
I'm about a 4, 5, 6 hours is probably about the limit for me.
I mean, there's some of those blacks, and maybe I don't think Pecan Lodge, but some of them where they'll run out and they say we got no more for the day.
Yeah, it's so popular these days.
Right.
And even for like the corporate world, the Colony. There's a Grandscape area, which is a brand new Nebraska furniture, $2 billion.
Really?
It's a huge growth area. There's a Hard 8 barbecue there. It's all fresh every day.
Really?
Like Hard 8, like
yes, yeah, Dice, yeah.
And you get there about 11:30 when it's fresh, and when they run out, they run out.
They run out. I know in Austin, Franklin's the same thing there. Franklin's there. Yeah.
He's a real famous one.
Yes, and it's only tourists that are there. Like no locals are in that line.
Right. I know what the other places
Right,
are.
Blacks.
Yeah.
Which there's one in Dallas now.
Yeah.
There's a Blacks in Dallas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is one of my favorites. Yeah.
So where's home for you?
I'm in Tampa now,
Okay, Tampa.
but I was in Dallas for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's where I
Where'd you live around Dallas?
Fitzhugh and Travis. So uptown.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in Uptown for a couple of years when I first moved there.
I say, yeah, barbecue and tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, good tequila. My favorite, my go-to drink right now, Terry, is ranch water.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And it's, not a lot of calories.
No, it's just good,
Yeah.
good. Spring water or what am I trying to say? Topo Chico, which is
Yeah.
mineral water.
Yeah.
Mineral water and a good tequila and a little lime. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised where I go. I still have to explain. Like, oh, can you do a ranch water? He goes, oh, we don't have that. I say, okay, you don't.
Well, some of them have branded ranch water in a can or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to add any calories or any of those kinds of things. Yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And now you're getting me hungry.
So what time of your life were you in the Dallas area?
Like the 4 or 5 years right before COVID.
Okay.
So 2017 to 2021, right there. Yeah, I haven't been back since.
Yeah.
Miss it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how'd you like it?
I loved it.
Way different than Tampa.
Very different. Business, I had a lot of business there and friends and things like that.
It's a huge
It is.
business, tons of business.
DFW.
More people moving in.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of people moving in.
Right.
Pretty busy.
Yeah, you probably want less. The locals want less. Yeah.
It's getting tricky. The traffic is real now.
Yeah, it's real. So Terry, we're here, and of all places, Greenville, South Carolina. We're at Tech, TD SYNNEX, Inspire. What are some of your goals this week?
Boy, for us, obviously to listen to, just the overall market trends, right? Figuring out what these leaders think is going on in the technology world, for sure. A big part of these for us, as I'm a business partner, one of the Pegasus Technology Solutions, out of Plano, Plano, Texas. We were in Frisco, about to move into a new office, which is about a mile away, but it actually is across the road, which is Plano versus Frisco. So Plano, Texas. And for us, it's really about the peer interactions, right, with other business leaders, people that are in different markets, even people from our own market, right? And we work with the tech data executives, right? So meet with them, understand, business goals, strategy, how can we help, how do they want to help? But a big part of it is the relationships, right? It's all about people. People want to help people, including, your peers. So that's really in my opinion, that's the value, right? It's what you make of it, and it's really who you meet. What do you talk about? How do you learn from each other? Everyone's doing something right. Everyone can do better. So that's a big part of it. We had a nice dinner last night with a few of our peers.
Oh, nice.
Tech data, they kind of take over Greenville, right?
They sure do.
So we hit a few of the stomping ground locations.
Very nice.
Saw a lot of old friends and met some new ones. And
very cool.
But the relationships are a big part of it.
How does Pegasus help the businesses in the DFW?
So we kind of grew up in VAR is a term, right?
Value-added reseller, yeah.
So we kind of grew up in that space. That was really how we started. That's we all came from that trusted advisor, consultative sales role in technology. Buck Jones, the CEO, he's the founder. I joined him about a month in. I'm one of the partners, kind of help player coach, help drive the sales. In a small business, we do a little bit of everything.
Right.
Sure. So that's sort of where we started, but we absolutely, our vision was, hey, this old hardware stuff, right, is becoming more and more commoditized, right? To be honest, a Dell versus an HP versus a Lenovo,
right,
they all work.
Yeah.
Strengths and weaknesses of all of them. So we saw that as kind of a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Commoditized, Moore's Law, everything's getting faster, cheaper. So we really wanted to build a recurring model, right? Just from a business stability perspective. So we built a managed services engine in our company, and that was a conscious strategy when we started Pegasus. We really felt like, the old way of doing things, right? Buying servers, putting them in your own data center. Well, that's going away. SaaS applications, all the public cloud, right? That's absolutely going to continue to grow. And we saw a convergence of those two, because when companies that did things the old way, now they're doing public cloud and SaaS apps. Well, that's a different paradigm shift in how you supported operations, right? So we saw that as an opportunity, in a convergence where people that are moving there are going to have a new critical event where they can lean on partners that are like, hey, you don't really have to go create that again. We can do that for you. So we do everything from, smaller, medium-sized companies will run total outsource IT. We do a lot of co-managed nowadays, where organizations want, a strategy person or maybe a couple technology people, but they want to focus more on innovation for the business. And they let us come in and we'll work collaboratively with them to kind of develop swim lanes. And we'll, as an example, they may want to keep the help desk and a person to do, the face-to-face white glove treatment for their users in their corporate office, and we'll manage all the security, all the infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
All the voice, all the connectivity. So we'll do it all. Sometimes we'll develop swim lanes where it'll be more of a co-managed relationship, and then we have a professional services organization that sort of connects the two. Right, we're doing huge Fortune 50 companies. We're in there doing professional services in some of the big accounts, and then in other cases, we're helping with a small little Office 365 migration for a 50-person company. So everything in between. So that's sort of what we do. We really turned the phrase. When we were starting out, it was like, well, hey, it's really all about our people, right? And everyone sort of says that. But for us, it's the pedigree and the experience that we bring. We really think that those best practices and baselines that we learned over our long careers, and we bring those and help deploy those best practices and principles and experience for the smaller customers. So that's really what we think is a huge differentiator for us.
I had MSP. I started in 93. I sold it in 2019.
Yeah.
And when I'm asked about, what made a difference, I got three things, Terry. Let me tell you. Let me see what you think. One, I joined a peer group. I found that when I did that, I was not alone anymore. I could get real ideas. There's a big breakthrough. Two is that there's many operating systems, business operating systems, right? There's many of them. There's 4 or 5 of them that I could think of. Get one, adopt it. And last, be humble enough to hire a coach.
Yeah.
What do you think about those three?
So we've done all three. Yeah, for sure. So we're involved in a few peer groups. One is ConnectWise is a big
Evolve.
So we're in
that's
Evolve.
when I was in.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Evolve.
We're in 311 is our group. So we meet quarterly.
Who's your facilitator?
Dan Sharp. Yeah, you know Dan?
I don't think so.
He's
but
great, Canadian.
Yeah,
he's a Canadian, so we give him, project versus project, right? So we have fun with it. But no, he's great, and we've been in there for a few years now. But you're right,
game changer.
Open everything up.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah,
right. There's some tough discussions about your P&L.
Yes,
but so learned a ton from an owner, leadership. Coaching, peer groups, that's fantastic. Entrepreneurial operating system, EOS.
Yeah.
That's
one you use?
We've
used. We were using that too.
Yep. So that's another game changer. We just had our quarterly the day before we came here. So that's fresh. Building our Q4 plans and our rocks and
right.
So we do that. And the third one, we have a few of the sort of the friends that you can lean on, right? Mentorships, and a couple have came from the Evolve group.
Arlen?
I know the name.
Yeah,
for sure. Not personally, but some of his his people that
Sure,
he's helped.
Scott,
Sure.
and many,
and then Buck, he's part of Vistage,
yes.
right? So there's some strong,
I say that's a big one.
Leadership that we lean on there, and then just relationships with business owners that we've met over time, and peers, as I mentioned, and some in our market, but mostly other markets where you can kind of go, hey, well, we don't compete at all, right? So let's lean in, and so we do some of that too. So,
I talk to MSPs every day, right?
Yeah.
I work a lot with vendors that want to work with MSPs, but I talk to MSPs. Sure. Pretty consistent, Terry, over the last 5-6 years, the things that keep them up at night. One, cybersecurity.
Yeah.
If their clients get attacked, they're going to have to allocate resources. They're going to lose money. They're probably going to be fired. They may even be sued.
Yeah.
Two is human capital. What happens if their big techs leave? How are they going to replace them? How are they going to get new techs? Yeah. And third is just growth. Now, you're CRO. Now, PE has poured in hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Their friends are selling their MSPs, buying nice cars. How am I going to organically grow?
Yeah.
What do you think of those three?
Man, all challenging.
Yes.
Right? People are really expensive. The good ones, right? The ones you want to keep. So there's a huge cost, obviously, as you know, running an MSP.
Yes.
Right. The risk factor, 100%. Right. You gotta do your due diligence, hire the right people, like I mentioned. Right. We have Troy Rochat is our CIO, virtual CIO.
I see.
He used to be a customer of ours.
Whoa.
Right. So he knows us. He knew us. And so, that's the pedigree we bring in to make sure that we're managing those sorts of risks, right? Picking the right partners, driving the right security tools, right? And then putting the right people process in place to support the tools. And it always has to be a closed loop, right? Where you continue to evolve, continue to challenge. Is it still the right tool?
Yeah.
Are we still doing it the right way? And then obviously there's the T's and C's that you learn from your business peer groups.
Yes.
Making sure that your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, and that you got all the right support from, cyber insurance and your legal teams. And what was the third one? Sorry.
Growth.
Oh yeah, that's not a challenge.
Sales engine. Yeah.
Challenge for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the peer groups, right? You have some of those aha moments. Growth is everyone's challenge.
That's right.
How do you get leads? Where does the lead gen engine come from? You build it yourself. You outsource it. You outsource it. One quarter it's going great, and then all of a sudden it goes MIA.
Right.
So, growth is it, and for us, right? We didn't really have a growth problem. You can always do better, of
course. Yeah.
But out of the gate, right? We're in our 10th year. Well, I'd say probably 8 to 9 of it, right? We had significant growth year over year, doubling, if not significant growth. And then it halted, and I feel like not halted, slowed down, right? And I think that a lot of that was because other MSPs are popping up, right? It's easier, I think, now than ever to go, well, I'm going to outsource everything to SaaS providers for my security, my monitoring, my patchment, the ecosystem of the MSP world has evolved.
Yes.
I think that's made it easier for smaller companies to get off the ground. And then it's how do you differentiate? That's something that we continue to try to master, right? Because as I mentioned, everyone sounds the same.
Yeah.
Especially when you're standardizing on similar tool sets. There's a lot of them, but they're all doing the same thing.
They really are.
So we're consistently trying to figure out all of that. How do we get more leads, right? Generally, we're people. Culture over growth is our slogan. Right? We want to grow, but we won't do it at the expense of culture, right? We're a family kind of oriented company, right? 30 something strong, and so we take that super seriously. When you get to know us, then you become, your customers are your friends. We have a lot of close knit relationships. We do a lot of events as thank yous to to our customers, customer appreciation. So we really get to know them and lean in. And you know, when you do that, the hope is that you just inherently start to get some referrals, and that happens.
Right.
If you do a good job, you take care of them. That's one avenue for growth. But the other areas are super important too, right? Business development, knocking on doors, getting your message out there, and then figuring out the lead gen piece of it. Because generally, when we start to talk with organizations and there's a need, we usually will win together.
I see. That's the goal.
Closing and understanding what we do in transparency and building that relationship. It's really not the hard part. The hard part is finding, you know, where there's a need and getting introduction into that organization.
Right.
Once we're introduced, we tend to do well. Not to say, you know, we close every deal, right? That doesn't happen. But
you're developing a relationship and it's deepening. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, we have some customers now that we've been talking to for 3, 4, 5 years.
Wow.
Right? Timing wasn't right.
Right.
They had a bad contract with someone. They couldn't get out of it. Whatever. We're going to try it internally. Okay, well, now we're ready to go external. We're ready for some help. So we tend to do a good job of, once we meet them, we'll keep a consistent pulse over the years. And a lot of those turn into a positive relationship at some point.
Terry, has there been anything in the last month or so you changed your mind on?
What do you mean? In relation to what?
Anything.
Change my mind. Boy. It's a tricky one. You know, I think one of the biggest things is just the whole AI boom.
Yeah.
Right? We had an economist talk to us at another event, so that was intriguing, right? I hadn't, you know, thought of some of the people impact down the road, right? I think the piece of it that certainly automation, certainly, you know, using AI like a lot of people do today around just, you know, I want to learn more, I want to be more productive, I think that the intriguing part or the aha moment is when he was talking about, you know, down the road, AI is going to be doing things that we haven't even thought of yet. And those are going to produce a lot of job opportunities.
Yeah.
We don't even know what they are, right? So we're going to be okay, in essence. And that was one of those that sort of changed my opinion a little bit about, you know, I think he's right. You know, if you look at, he brought up, you know, I think stats aren't exactly right, but historically there was an average of two children born for wife or mother, and now it's running closer to 1 in the U.S. So there's potentially at some point there's a labor challenge.
Yeah.
That his view was, I think that AI will fill that gap because you're going to be able to do more with less in essence.
Right.
And so that piece of it gave me sort of that, okay, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. You know? Yeah.
So I started my MSP in the 90s. I was working way too hard. I sold it, by the way, in 2019.
Right.
And I was working way too hard, not paying attention to my health, Terry. And next thing, you know, I'm not working out anymore. Next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor. She tells me I'm at 340 pounds.
Wow.
So I gained all this weight.
And you look good.
I appreciate it. I was in my 20s, didn't really feel it, you know. But she says to me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born.
Yeah.
Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Spent the next 6 or 7 months, lost about 120 pounds, 130 pounds, kept it off. You can't look at it as a finishing line, right? Yeah. So when I tell people this, they always say, what's your secret? There's no secret. Discipline, motivation, focus, willpower. How does discipline play a role in your life?
Man. Yeah. So everything you talked about certainly is applicable, right? Working hard.
Yeah.
There's always something that you can put your eyes on and fingers on a keyboard, right? So I certainly get I didn't get to the gym again today. Yeah, I'm absolutely trying to do a better job of scheduling it. I'll put an hour on my calendar just so that I don't forget, and it doesn't get booked over.
Right.
For for
yourself,
make time to try to certainly some physical stuff.
Right.
I could do better, but I'm trying to do more of that. Right, from a discipline perspective. Certainly, discipline comes into just the drive to be successful, right, as a business owner. There's certainly, as you know, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
And keeping your eyes on the people, and I'm not going to let this fail, right? We, not I, but certainly discipline in, like you said, taking time to commit to whatever you commit to, right? If I said, in our peer group, EOS rocks, right? When you commit, you're committing to other people. So I think there's a lot of discipline built into.
Yeah, sure is. Accountability.
I can't go back into that.
Right.
Our next meeting in Orlando in Q4.
Yes.
Without committing to the three things that I committed to. So that's, I think, a big piece of the discipline there too.
Yeah, it sure is.
And then, of course, there's just the disciplines around the family, right? Trying to make more time for them. Vacations, making sure you get to see the tennis match, all those sorts of things. So
very
keeping
cool.
your eyes on the ball, right? So
and prioritizing. Yeah.
That's right.
I thank you so much for your time, Terry.
It's a good story.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Anybody listening or watching, how can they get in touch with you?
Boy, the easiest one is we have an alias as the easiest. Terry, Terry, at PTS, Pegasus Technology Solutions, .team.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And, of course, you're on LinkedIn, Terry McGill.
I am. Yep, Terry McGill, MCGILL.
Very good.
But, yeah, it'd be awesome.
Terry, thanks so much. Great meeting you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.